Please like and subscribe. I'm going to be making videos all November, going into December. Your support is greatly appreciated. Now, let's get into why The Penguin is the best show of 2024, and it's not even close. Spoiler warning for those who haven't seen the Batman movie or The Penguin. Not sure why you're sleeping on this shit. But when you think of The Penguin, I bet this isn't what you initially thought the character design would be. It's a bit different. I like it a lot more. It's more realistic for a mob boss. The Penguin as a character has always been dark and evil. The Penguin in the comics, the things he be getting up to are diabolical, to say the least. Comic book. Penguin a gangster in his own right. An amazing character in the comics. They changed his name from Oswald Cobblepot to Oswald Cobb. What in the hell is a Cobblepot? But even his iconic look has been changed a bit for a more unique approach to the character. And I love it. It's refreshing. He starts off as a kid with a dream to put his mother in a better place. A penthouse with a great view of the city. He has 2 brothers. No clue where's his father, but his mom is doing all she can to support them, especially with Penguin's leg condition. But the young Penguin can't help but feel left out due to not being able to participate with his family in certain activities. And he really loves his mom, tries to help her or watch movies or dance with his mother. A real mama's boy. None wrong with it at first, but it turns into something twisted, as you'll see, but being left out of certain activities. Because of his leg, he starts to develop a grudge to them, and it comes to a boiling point later on, after running an errand for their mom, who also wants them out the crib, so she can focus. They meet the neighborhood hero, like he pops smoke or some shit. Honestly, not gonna lie, I feel like she had some sort of deeper relationship with this mob boss. Maybe he might have been their pops, who knows. But Oz's older brother knows he's a no-good mob boss and tells his younger brothers to stay away from him. Although the young Oz sees him as a hero after they gave him some sort of book their mother told them to give him. Then he gives them 50 cash, which is a lot of money being poor in this era of Gotham. And they head out to go play in what looks like a sewer. They pick Penguin for hide and seek on purpose, knowing he can't catch them because of his leg. Upset about this, but not trying to ruin it. He counts and goes looking for them, only to find them hiding down a ladder, laughing and giggling, knowing he can't climb down without hurting himself. He locks the door behind him and leaves them in there, trapped and unable to escape, and goes back home, where he and his mom watched a movie while it started to rain, and his brothers, trapped in the sewer, drowned everything he had been keeping inside, ended up causing him to take these actions that lead to the deaths of his brothers. He even lied to his mother, telling her they went to the movies. Insane shit. But turns out the mother knew. She found a flashlight he took from down there in his jacket pocket and knew what he did, just didn't tell him that she knew. The same mob boss comes to see her because she's been stuck in the house, grief eating her alive. She tells him everything and he gives her some options, and one of them is to have Oz killed or join his gang. But we'll get into that later. Oz as a character is shaped by his mother and by the deaths of his 2 brothers. Deep down, he's always been a monster that wants to use people to get what he wants, whether he has to lie or deceive. You'll see he's the type to say anything, to get what he needs, he wanted. His mother's love and affection all to himself, and he got it by killing his brothers. Oz will partner up with anyone and get anyone killed to move up the ladder. That is Gotham's mob empire, starting with Sophia Flacone, baddie of the year, her driver. He's loyal to her at first, but sees a chance to snake her and move up that ladder again when she starts investigating a series of deaths that involve women dying. In the same manner, her mother was killed when she was a little girl. He ends up selling her out to her dad, who is the actual killer. Big shocker, like, you couldn't tell something was up with this nigga from day one or some shit, but he ends up getting her locked up in Arkham with a paper saying all the family members signed off on it and pinning all the murders on her. And niggas start calling her the Hanged Man, crazy name too. No cap, but Oz, who was Sophia's driver, sticking his nose where it didn't belong, got her locked up in Arkham and ended up climbing that ladder. You can see already he will sacrifice whoever to get himself into a better position. Sophia only had one ray of light, her dear brother Alberto Falcone, who came to visit her every week when no one else would as soon as she's out of jail. Episode 1, Oz kills him, stuffs his body in a trunk, and makes it seem like another family did. He takes his dad's ring off, along with his finger. Before he can do anything, some young kid tries to steal his rims and he ends up catching one of them. A young man named Victor gets pressed by Oz and makes him his driver and spares his life. He ends up giving the ring to Salvatore Maroni, a mob boss that's locked up at this point in the story. He makes an alliance with them to put them up against the Falcone family and walks free of suspicion. I'ma do a video on Sofia Falcone because she's sexy as fuck and she deserves a video. But back to it, Oz then lies to her to get in on her drug operation. She had going with her brother she knows is a snake because he ratted her out last time, but strings him along. Then together they get the connects to move the operation into the next phase. Then boom, that same family, the Maronis, pull up on Oz for snaking them. Victor comes to save the day, driving Oz's car into one of their men, and him and Victor leave Sofia for dead again. BTL long story short, he ends up trying to make another deal with the Maronis, ends up burning the wife and son of Salvatore Maroni alive, and takes what little of the product he can salvage and starts getting to work short time skip. Later, Salvatore is free after Oz failed. An assassination attempt on him breaks out of jail. I don't have a clue how no one didn't catch him. But anyway, him and Sofia make an alliance to find and kill Oz. Sofia also kills her whole family, except for the only child in the family, a little girl. She put this child into a very similar situation. Her father put her into shaking my head. So many betrayals. It's not even funny. She killed her whole family because they sat back and watched as her pops did what he did to her, locking her up and shit. And none of the family tried to help her. Only her brother, and so she starts killing the drug dealers Oz had on the street, cutting a finger off like how he did her brother. As a message, Sofia looks for any sort of leverage she can get on Oz, raids his crib and goes to his girl's crib, presses her. But she didn't budge. But remember those females that were killed? Some of those were Oz's girlfriend's friends, so she snitches Sofia, then goes and finds Oz's mom, kidnaps her while Oz makes another deal with the bosses of the other crime families. Oz sends Victor to get an army while he gets caught by Salvatore and taken to Oz's drug operation. A struggle ensues and Oz gains the upper hand, killing Salvatore. Then Sofia sends a truck with what Oz assumes is his mother's corpse. But guess what? It's a bomb and blows a small hole and Crown Point Oz gets kidnapped. And him and his mother are integrated by Sofia, who gets his mom to tell the truth about knowing the whole time that he did it, and that she doesn't forgive him and hates him, and calls him the devil, and then gets freed and stabs him. Then she starts hallucinating. Falls, hits her head. Oz, who was about to let his mother's finger get cut off a moment before to try to avoid telling the truth about what he did to his brothers, is furious. Gets a fucking rage boost. Zenkai, like his Goku or some shit, breaks out his restraints and kills a NPC and shoots at Sofia, takes his mom, kills the drunken idiot that kidnapped him, steals the idiot's car and drives her to the hospital. He calls Vic and has him drive him to the mayor's building and sets up Sofia for later in the episode, pinning the explosion in Crown Heights on her and the drug operation on her. But that's for later. Vic, MVP of the game, like his literally prime MG guy, he gets play of the game and gets Oz caught by the mob bosses, trust me. Victor got the method right now, trust me. This nigga MVP of the whole show, no cap, but Sofia burns her crib down, then goes to meet the bosses and Oz. Then every mob boss is killed by their own men, literally snake on snake shit out here. But long story short, Vic had this shit in the bag. What I told him and the other lieutenants of each of the mob gangs, kill the other leaders and take control besides Oz. Then Oz takes Sofia for one last drive and brings her to the place where earlier he had set up to have her arrested to take the fall for everything that happened. W. Vic, he the MVP. But Oz goes to see his mother and turns out she had a stroke from her fall, and holy shit, this is evil. But Vic says some kind words to get Oz on his feet. They share a drink and Oz fucking chokes him to death. Man then steals out his fucking wallet and leaves his body for fucking dead. Shit is insane, incredible. So evil, so wicked, holy shit. Vic, rest in peace. Bro, he MVP without Vic, Oz wouldn't have developed into the full monster with no attachments. Because Vic being his last sort of humanity, he had dies his family not bond by blood, but by trust built throughout the season, then kills him. Because no weakness can be accepted. He moves his mom into the penthouse he always wanted to put her in. She can't move because the stroke paralyzed her, dancing with the shorty from before, who is dressed just like his mother used to dress up. When he was a kid, I swear this guy was into his mother or some shit. but no other show has taken steps to bring such an evil character to light. Not gonna lie, you need to spread the news on this show. It's show of the year, for real, no cap. I will crash out over this opinion. Think I'm playing like this vid right now. Thank you for sticking to the end of the vid. Yeah, my heart's for real. I love ya. Don't have to like or sub, but it would mean a lot to me. Stay safe. My hearts.